At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
At LinkedIn, we know hiring is a big deal for your small business. Sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. LinkedIn uses data that you can't find anywhere else to give you the best candidates, all so you can feel confident you're hiring the best person for the job. And even a little hiring bliss. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/achieve. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, so here's the thing. I've talked on this before, and I feel like it needs to be discussed again. I'm not seeking no argument. This ain't even something to argue about. Don't show up to a person's house unannounced, all right? Even if it is on some stuff where it's like, oh, well, I'll let them know beforehand I'm showing up and then just show up. No. Do not show up to a person's house unannounced, all right? Under any circumstances, whether you like that person or don't like that person, do not show up to a person's house unannounced. So the reason why I'm doing this podcast episode, and I've done stuff like this before, and I feel like that it needs to be done every once in a while because people don't understand that it's like, that's not okay. That's not normal. You know, and the crazy thing is that people will try to defend it, and they were like, oh, well, I notified them, and they didn't, say anything. If you know this person, if it's a friend or a family and you message them or call them and if they don't pick up, then that's when you do a checkup of some sorts. But if I don't know you, there's no reason for you to show up to my house under any circumstances. My thing is, and I feel like people would try to twist that and twist those words and flip it and be all like, oh, well, you could get to know me and then I could just, no. The thing is this, with friends, with family, we always let each other know if we shown up to each other's homes. We just don't show up unannounced. I don't think throughout the existence of me being, maybe when I was a kid, that was the only time when I feel like I would show up to a person's house unannounced. But it was usually just going over to my friend's house and I knew that they were home. So it's and then we always was cool with one another. And if nobody didn't answer, it's one of those things where it's I went on about my business. But it's something where I'm but as you get older, you overall do that. I guess I don't know. I had one of those Virgin mobile phones. So it was you only had 20 minutes and you had to make sure that them 20 minutes was they was used wisely, all right? But no, overall though, it's even as a kid, I think back and I'm there could have been some moments where I could have, because I didn't have a Virgin mobile phone my whole time when I was in school and stuff. No, it was I'm trying to think. I think I had stopped doing that when I think probably maybe middle school. I think it was middle school when I just stopped showing up to my friend's house unannounced. Because I'm trying to think, I think I did have a much more better phone at that time. So I could just, I had gotten into texting and stuff. And then it was in high school, I got into social media. So it was something where it was there is a way to notify somebody, but that's people that you know. The thing is this, and I feel like people overall think because, oh, I'm a big fan of this individual, I support this individual, I follow them all across social media, I like all their posts, therefore I'm allowed to show up to their house. No, you are not. The reason why I'm doing this episode is because the wrestler, Rhea Ripley, she just recently did some video where a fan was being mad creepy in front of her house. And it was there was no reason for the fan to show up there. And the thing is this, it's okay, I get it. Rhea Ripley, she's one of the biggest wrestlers of her time. But I'm fam, I'm a Rhea Ripley fan, but you don't see me all oh, let me show up to these locations where she's going to be at. Oh, let me find out where she lives. Oh, let me do this. Let me do that. There's no reason to do any of that. And it's something where I'm like, it shouldn't matter how old you are, because I feel like people would try to defend that where it's like, oh, it might be somebody of a young age. Still, there ain't no reason for you to be showing up to a person's house and you don't know them. Yeah, you can know of a person because you might see them on TV or know them through social media or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, fam, there are people that I know where I'm like, I'm close friends with them, but I just don't show up to their house unannounced. I'm like, yeah, there's people, I'm like my content creating friends. I'm like, yeah, maybe if it was one of those like surprise things or something, but I'm like, okay, that type of stuff, yeah, it may be normal. I don't know. But overall, it's like, I feel like that you would have to like let somebody know, I guess maybe in the family or a friend, I don't know. But it's just, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just don't, I don't think that's something that's normal to do. You know, but I didn't heard this story so many different times. I remember a time where I talked about it on YouTube because I think there was a video that I reacted to where they were showing like all these crazy, weird, creepy fans showing up to people's homes. And I don't know, maybe this, because I'm trying to think, if I uploaded this video during the time where I was getting a lot of hate, then I think it could have just been somebody trolling when they said this. But if not, then I'm like, if that person, like, they firmly believe that it's okay to show up to a person's house whenever, I'm like, yeah, you gonna definitely be one of those people where you gonna end up finding out the hard way. And I'm like, it's definitely gonna be a person, you show up to their place, and they may be a guns blazing person, you know, where it's like they if they know that you're there with bad intentions, then it's like they gonna get the shooting. Even if it is somebody that's there with good intentions, still, I don't know what your version of good intentions are. So that's why it's like, yeah, it's just things like that, you know, when people, when they so overall, when I had uploaded that video, somebody was trying to defend it, showing up to a person's house, talking about I should be able to show up to a person's house whenever I want to. And I'm like, I really wish that I could remember what I said to that person. But yeah, it pretty much was along the lines like, all right, I mean, I'm saying if my thing is this, if they open up with that, and that's why I said exactly with this Rhea Ripley situation, that she has every single God-given right. If she was home, she overall could have opened up that door with violent intentions. And then, you just gonna overall have to learn the hard way. And it's crazy. It's things like that. So, let's just lay out that scenario, right? So, let's say Rhea Ripley is home. This person is in front of her house acting all weird and stuff. Rhea Ripley, she goes out there, starts swinging on the girl, whatever. Because I think she did say, it was a girl. But overall, starts swinging on the girl. I just know for a fact that girl's gonna be mad that Rhea Ripley had did that. She's gonna be like, oh, she swung on me. I don't know why but I'm like, why are you showing up to this girl's house? The thing is this, what people don't understand about that is that it's an invasion of a person's privacy. You don't, like, pay no bills at that house. You don't have no association whatsoever. Yeah, so what? You're a Rhea Ripley supporter. A lot of people are a Rhea Ripley supporter, but they also support the fact that this girl got boundaries. This girl got a personal space. She ain't trying to have it where, and that's something that I just don't understand with wrestlers too, where it's like, it trips me out when I hear them stories when wrestlers, they say that they like just landed at an airport and then all of a sudden these fans just bombard them wanting them to sign all these different things. I'm like, fam, it is 5 a.m. I gotta be at this WWE Performance Center, practicing my wrestling moves for the night. And then don't let it be one of them like pay-per-views or I gotta do some old crazy stunt where I gotta do this stunt numerous times. So I'm like, fam, I'm thinking about that, and then you guys are wanting me to sign t-shirts and action figures that don't even belong to me. I'm like, what does it look like Rhea Ripley signing a Hulk Hogan action figure? Like, it's just stuff like that where I'm like, man, sometimes them wrestling fans, I'm like, you guys take wrestling too seriously. It's like, I'm a wrestling fan myself. I watch all the different shows, although I would say I did miss, because no, AEW, they don't even let people know when their show comes on. This show just comes on whenever. I'm like, there's going to be at a point in time where I just stop watching AEW because I'm like, you guys y'all can't get it together. And I'm like, I just feel like, that'll just be more time for me during the day and things where it's like, okay, it's one less show I gotta watch, because I'm like, they don't even have like a normal schedule. It's like their thing came on early because of a soccer game. I'm like, look, it ain't no disrespect to that soccer game, but I'm like, that soccer game could have waited, all right? But it's coming on at 8, and if it's one of them soccer games overseas, I'm like, bro, ain't nobody gonna be up no 4 or 5 in the morning watching no soccer game and things. It's like, come on now. But anyways, getting back to the original subject of this podcast episode. Yeah, it's things like that where I'm like, it's something where I think even with content creators, I know for a fact content creators have dealt with it, but it really trips me out though, where it's like, you know, when I hear those stories and then I put myself in that, like, you know, in that thought. And that's why I'm like, I don't be letting people know where I'm at. I don't let people, as far as they know, it's like, I live all over the place in Washington State. But I'm like, I don't give them an exact location. And it's weird when it's like, I just remember the one time when the guy on my Twitch stream, he was asking me all these weird personal questions. And I'm like, fam, and it's what was crazy was that when I checked him about it, he tried to make it seem like that it wasn't weird. And I'm like, okay, how many times have you just went into a random person's Twitch stream or YouTube videos or whatever, and you just start asking them all these random personal questions? You may not look at it as a weird thing, but I'm looking at it as a weird thing. And I can say for myself that I ain't never went into a person's Twitch stream all like, oh, what building you live in? Oh, yeah, it's just stuff like that where I'm like, fam, why are you even asking somebody like that? Every time when I join a person, I'm just going to overall just go through the years of me, you know, being, I guess, a fan of content. Because like that's one thing that I'll say about myself is that I'm a fan of a content creator, although I am a content. But I mean, yeah, you could be a content creator, be a fan of other content creators. But there was that time frame where I was like just a fan of content creators. I didn't fully call myself a content creator, but no, just overall, like from all the way from like 2010 all the way up until now, 2025.
Este episodio es presentado por Honda. Descubra la nueva Honda Passport Trail Sport Todoterreno. La Passport más todoterreno que Honda haya imaginado jamás. Esta Passport cuenta con mayor altura al suelo, barras de techo en todas sus versiones y neumáticas especialmente diseñados para cualquier terreno. Además, disfruta todos tus viajes con el control de clima de 3 zonas, techo panorámico y opciones como asientos delanteros con calefacción y ventilación. Conoce más en honda.com/passport.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes.
Like Doc slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
Throughout that time frame of me being in the content creating universe, I never invaded a person's personal space. I have to say the one and only time where I guess I would say, but I feel like a lot of people have tried to look this up, but I have to say the only time I had, I guess in a way, invaded a person's personal space when it came down to content creating was looking up H2O Delirious's, like if he ever did a face reveal or if there's like if his face is somewhere out there or something. But I'm like, that's just stuff that I don't know. Like maybe that might be an invasion of his personal space. I guess if it is, I apologize, but I feel like that's something it's like you look up and it's like H2O Daily. You can look at let me just prove that real quick with on YouTube. Hold on for a second. No, them videos hadn't uploaded yet. I was uploading some streams onto my gaming channel and I hadn't had the time to kind of exit out of things. But anyways, yeah, the first thing when you type up H2O, even just H2O, yeah, his name H2O Delirious, H2O, and the third result is H2O Delirious face reveal. Has he done a face reveal? I don't think he has. If this was uploaded on April, but yeah, it's like you got all these other different channels where it's like I ain't gonna believe it until it's like trending or something, because I'm like, nah, that would have been worldwide breaking news if H2O Delirious did a face reveal. But yeah, I would have to say that's probably been the only time. And I mean, and like I said, if that is an invasion of his personal space, then I do apologize for that. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking up his address. I'm not trying to see what his actual government name is. I ain't trying to see how many people are living in his household. I ain't trying to, it's just things like that where it's like, being a fan of a content creator, that's just something that you overall, I guess like you just like you learn it throughout your years of being a fan of a content creator, is that you learn to respect a person's personal boundaries. You learn how to respect their space, but it's like you don't invade their space, and it's like, fam, there ain't even no reason for you to invade their space. So it's like, and even going back then where I was like, there wasn't no reason for me to be looking up H2O Delirious's face reveal or to see what he looked like. Because I'm like, my thing is this: if this man wants to put his face out there, he very well can. I understand why he isn't, and yeah, that's another thing where it's like, as you like kind of just you become a content creator, then you understand like, dang, it probably is good not to really reveal your face and things on with like content creating. But yeah, because you just got a lot of weirdos out there. But I mean, it's like that in the content creating universe. It's like that with actors and actresses. It's like that with musicians. And yeah, now you got like professional wrestlers and stuff where they're going through it. And it's just, to me, it's stuff like that where I'm like, fam, people, come on now. Do you honestly think that Rhea Ripley, like, let's just say she was home, right? And do you honestly think she's trying to, because that's something where it's like people, I guess, like, I don't know, you got like two different types of people in this world. You got the crazy ones and you got the normal ones. And I feel like the normal ones, you got a lot of us where we're antisocial. We don't really want to go out and do nothing. We just kind of want to be in the house chilling. Do you think she's trying to answer, some random person showing up to her house? Do you honestly think that type of stuff? Imagine, and that, I guess, like, because I feel like a crazy person don't know that there's other crazy people in this world. Like, that's, I don't know, that's just an observation where it's like you can put two crazy people in a room. They wouldn't even know that they're there. Like, I'm saying, like, I feel like that probably done became a movie. It seemed like it should be a good movie. But no, it's like that's something that you should overall do. Put two stalkers in a room. I guarantee and I promise you, they wouldn't even acknowledge each other. They just kind of look at each other. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they may come to an agreement of, or no, that if anything, I think one or the other will see how the other is acting, and then they're like, dang, fam, I act and think just like this person. I'm like, okay, I gotta change my ways. So yeah, it's somewhere and maybe that interaction may cause both of them to change their ways. But yeah, it's like, that's just something I'm like, yeah, that needs to happen. I feel like two stalkers need to be off up in the room just to see. But yeah, it's like, I feel like people like that, because according to Rhea Ripley, when she was talking about it in the video, so it's this video of her and Logan Paul talking with one another, and she was talking about like how like a random girl showed up. She was away, of course, going through with her career and stuff. But anyways, she said that she could see it on her like doorbell camera where the girl was just, I guess, just standing there smiling and was looking like one of the actors and actresses from that movie Smile. And I'm telling you right now, it's like I said, I was like when I retweeted that video, she had if she would have been home, she had every right to open up that door and be violent. And I know people are gonna be all like, that's her fan. Why would she want to be violent to her own fan? Why is her fan showing up to her house unannounced? Like, you ain't get no invitation. She ain't gave you the green light to show up to her house. Yeah, you may be a fan, but it's like, again, respect a person's personal space. That's it. That's all that we, entertainers and just overall people. But it's like, the thing is this, even when you hear situations, like there was even a friend of mine's where she was telling me about that, how she had like a crazy ex that was going around looking for her and stuff. And it's things like that where I'm like, people, if that person don't want to be bothered with you, it's like the thing is this, with situations like that, yeah, if the person don't want to be bothered with you, respect that. With entertainers, like famous people and all that stuff, there's a time and place to, I guess, give them gifts and, figure out them times and places, and then that's when you give them gifts and things. But at the end of the day, it's like, you showing up to my house unannounced and I'm supposed to just assume, oh, you came here bearing gifts. No, bruh. That's something where I'm like, I refuse to believe that you're here with good intentions. I'm gonna look at you as a crazy person. All right. So yeah, it's just stuff like that where I'm like, people need to understand that, you wouldn't want nobody doing that to you. So why would you do that to somebody else? And I ain't trying to hear I wouldn't care if somebody did. People always say things like that every time. That's one thing. If I could just talk on that real quick. When a person is trying to paint out an example and you make it seem like that you wouldn't care, yeah, the reason why you're saying that is because you've never been in a situation like that. Think of somebody that you despise, you do not like, you hate this person with your guts, you do not ever want to see this person again for the remainder of your life. All right, I'm saying, even if there's such thing as you transition into a new body and you start all over, however, I guess, because you got some people out there where it's like they think along those lines, like where I'm just gonna be reborn, blah blah blah. So but anyways, it's like you don't want to see this person in any form of life whatsoever. It's like you don't even want to be a rock next to this person as they're also a rock out in the middle of the desert somewhere. You do not want no association with this person. and they showed up to your house, you're going to feel a certain way about that. You're going to be extremely upset about some stuff like that. So, yeah, it's like you ain't going to be happy. You ain't going to try to figure out like, oh, no, you're going to be upset about that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, people need to understand that type of stuff ain't normal. It's like, you gotta stop showing up to a person's house just because it's like, oh, okay, like, I'm a fan of this person, or I hate this person so much, and it's like, I gotta go and show how much that I hate them and things. I'm like, yeah, and it's stuff like that with both interactions. If somebody opens up that door with violent intentions, whether it's swinging or a weapon of some sorts is being used, I don't know if I can really say what that weapon is on my podcast, but yeah, overall, I think a lot of people may overall know what I'm talking about. You know, it could be a melee weapon. It could be another type of weapon. But regardless of the fact, you should not be showing up to a person's house unannounced. And the crazy thing about it was that there's this one story. I'm going to end this episode after I tell this story. But anyways, there's a story I remember a while back where I think the guy was house sitting his friend's home, but he thought the friend was gone. But overall, I think it was the parents or something that said like, oh yeah, like, so I guess like maybe this might not fit in this category, but regardless of the fact, still, it was one of those things where it was like, even if it was the individual's home, it's something where it's like you should let somebody know that you was there, because it's like if that person don't know, then it's like, yeah, it's something where it's like you always gotta let somebody know that you are inside of their home or your home or however, and that person don't know. You gotta let them know that. But anyways, regardless of the fact, so I think it was the parents that asked the guy to watch their home as they went on to some trip or something. So anyways, the daughter of so it was because it was the parents and the daughter's home, and they asked the family friend to watch that house. So anyways, they thought that the daughter wasn't there. So I think they heard a noise or something like that. And then, and it was the daughter, I guess, like, you know, waiting for the individual to come up the stairs, so she can scare him. So that's what she ended up doing. She jumped out of, I think it was a room or whatever, and scared the guy, not realizing that the guy had a weapon. And he ended up shooting and killing her. And, that's a story where I'm like, you know, it's been a while since I've sat down and thought of that story, but that's a story that just came to mind where it's like, usually stuff like that be happening, you know. So it's just something where I'm like, man, people, you know, it's like actually sit down and hear people out when they're doing it or talking about stuff like this, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube video, a tweet. It just really trips me out where a person is like, they think that they're so connected to this individual, and I'm like, fam, that individual don't want nothing to do with you at all. Rhea Ripley don't want to that girl. I'm like, look, Rhea Ripley don't want nothing to do with you. If I could just talk to that girl real quick, she doesn't. I'm not trying to say this in a disrespectful way towards Rhea Ripley, but my thing is this: she don't know you. She don't care about you. I guess to an extent where it's like a entertainer talking to a fan. Yeah, she's gonna have some sort of caring towards you, but human to human, she don't know you. It's like the crazy thing is that you could disappear. Rhea Ripley ain't gonna lose no sleep over it whatsoever. I'm not trying to say that in a disrespectful way, but I'm just letting you know. It's like there is more to life than being known as that weird Rhea Ripley fan that showed up to her house in the middle of the day. So, yeah, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. People, stop being weird, all right? But yeah, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.